Hello, Mr. Fred Field. If you're still here, let me see if I can tap on that, pin that message. Yay, it worked. Let's see if I can do the top chat to the live chat. OMG. Okay, here we go. Oh, I'm not even plugged in. Hold on. Hold everything. Are you still here, Fred? Thank you for being here so early. What was that? Did you answer me? That was a weird sound. Okay. So it looks like I have two people here. How's the sound? OMG. I just want to tell you guys I'm not feeling so hot. I'm kind of feeling a little sick. So that's why I was late. I almost didn't come on. But I'm going to try to do it. Where's my barf bucket? Just in case, right? I'm just kidding. Hopefully it's not that bad. But one sec. Let me get the fresh air on me. Okay, hopefully that'll be a little bit better. Just a little bit more air. Mrs. Hamir and Fred, how are you guys? I'm here. I made it. Is all my lighting lined up? Am I lined up? Is my head on straight? I don't think so. Not possible. Oh, I think I forgot to do this yesterday, didn't I, Mrs. Amir? You were here, right? You were like here more than anybody else. Please hit that like button if you don't mind. So yeah, I woke up today, you guys. I had an experience I'm happy to share with you. I woke up, all the effing news, and I just started to feel like vomiting. And I kind of went through this process. I was thinking maybe I'm just like overloaded on all this crap, which that's a thing too. But I realized what it was. It was kind of one of these like mind body things where I'm sick of being lied to. So a couple things pushed it over the top. Yeah, imagine that. One thing was the government, and there's a lot of stupid lies going on there. We'll talk about them. Come on. Oh, now it's like sticking? What the F? Don't stick. I didn't tell you to stick. Stop sticking. Okay. I give up. I just got to give up. Okay. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you are subscribed, please, I beg of you, turn on your notification bell to ring. Share a video of mine with somebody that you think might like my channel. And everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of hoping to start a conversation, open up a discussion, learn something, be educational. All my videos are made for YouTube. It's an infotainment platform. And I'm just moving all my crap. So my 18-year-old is going to be moving out. I'll be a new person. And then I think I get my old studio back, which was my older son's room that my 18-year-old demanded custody of. And I fought him, but, what can I say? I'm a mom. I capitulated. And so I moved into this smaller space, and I always want to see the bright side of everything. And I thought, well, I can use it as an opportunity to improve the space, blah, 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 blah. And so when he moves out, that space is like twice as big. The little room that I'm in is probably 8 by 10. And then the room next door is probably like 12 by 14. So probably close to, if not a full twice the square footage. I'd have to do the math, which, I can't do when I'm on live. But anyway, it'll be a royal pain. So part of me just wants to capitulate it to my husband to let him have it for a man cave. But another part of me is like, no, I need the bigger space because then I can incorporate it to be my yoga studio, my YouTube studio, and my jewelry designing studio. Because I don't even have a jewelry designing studio currently. Don't really have a yoga studio either. I mean, I just use our living quarters. So, but that's nice too because it's upstairs with the skylight and the vaulted ceiling, and it's a cool loft area. It's like the nicest room in the house, or one of the two nicest rooms in the house. The other nicest room is right below it, but that's my husband's man cave, and he's destroyed it. It has the potential to be the nicest room in the house, if not for the man cave. Anyway, enough about me. How are you guys? I'm drinking some sparkling water. It's peach flavor. It's delicious. I highly recommend it. I forgot I always leave DNA when I get my notification. Well, you better be careful with that DNA, girl. You never know. Everything can and will be used against you in a court of law. Be sure to change the locks. LOL. Fred, don't get me started. Tempted to change the locks on the house. I'm trying to just let him finish the school year. But we're in the final stretch, and you know how we all were the last 6 weeks of our senior year. Not the sanest that we've ever been in our lives, right? So yeah, I'm the mom, I'm the evil one. I get to be the punching bag, and I fight back. I try not to. I try just to listen, nod my head. And I try to duck out. I try to just say, you know what? I think you and your father need to have this discussion. So I sum it up to, it's not productive for you and I to get into an argument. So, oh, thanks for the hearts. I need them. So yeah, I feel like if I get it off my chest, I'll feel better. So I'm just going to blurt it all out. I'm going to start crying. My head's going to spin. Vomit's going to be flying everywhere. It's going to be like an exorcism. Are you ready? Okay, I got my notes. I got a cool new little notebook. It's got this pretty sunset on it. And I've got my legal pad, which is, I think, most of where everything is today. Let's see if there's anything important to... Well, let's start with something nice and light. Do you guys hear about the elephant circling up for the earthquake? That's so cute. Let's talk about puppies, too. Going to be lurking, watching the TV while I charge my phone. Oh, thanks for sharing. Thanks for cueing us into what's going on. Yeah, wasn't that cool with the freaking elephants? I love elephants. I can't really do another pin thing with my touch screen. It goes in and out, so I'm just going to leave it alone, right? Don't fix what's not broken. So where did I want to start spewing all the sickness out? I'm sorry if I have an itchy nose. Let's talk about my jewelry for a moment. These are the other favoritist earrings that I made over the weekend when I was on my jewelry extravaganza. They're a lot like the ones I showed you yesterday. And they're a couple really cool shades of bluish green. Some of my favorite colors. Blue, bluish green, certain shades of blue. I like to call them the stormy sky colors. Like this necklace, it's got black pearls that are kind of that stormy sky color. Oh, and both of these, here, you can't really see them. So this necklace has little tiny blue gems up here, and then kind of a mossy green. And then this one is a mossy green. Okay. Are we all in line? Are we all cool with the jewelry? I know. I used to joke that I was going to turn my channel into a QVC true crime. Okay. No, that's ridiculous. Why? It's so funny because when you are doing live, things are opposite. You're basically looking in the mirror. When you're recording, it flips. Right? No, it's the opposite. I'm sorry. Because this is on my left side. but when I look here, it's on my right side. So it's flipped when I'm live, and then when I'm just recording, it's a mirror. Man, what that does to a dyslexic brain is not even funny. So what was cool, Fred Field? The earrings. Oh, the elephants. I can remember 5 seconds ago. Really, I can. Even when I'm feeling kind of sick. Here's another super cool pair of earrings that I was going to wear today, but I decided not to. But I'll show them to you nonetheless. So I did not make the little like gold die cut great blue heron, but I did choose the findings and then put these like mossy green beads on these wild long fish hook findings. So yeah, well, that's probably another reason why I feel sick, is because I've gotten sucked into the jewelry making. And after I made my live yesterday, I spent all day fixing a necklace that I wore yesterday that I've been wearing for a couple of years with it needing to be fixed. I sat there obsessively for hours and fixed it. It was a nightmare. And I was like, this is why I don't make jewelry for a living anymore. It's fun to have the finished product, but it's not fun doing it, especially like everything always goes wrong. But how many minutes in am I? And I still haven't talked about the freaking Gene Hackman stuff. I didn't put that in the title yet, but I do want to talk about that because the body cam footage came out. And I think that's what kicked off the illness, was watching that body cam footage and all this other stuff going on. And then I'm very, very susceptible to motion sickness. But also, I feel like that Gene Hackman case, and I hate to say this, I really do, because I would like to have everything be rainbows, puppies, and lollipops in the world, right? It's a wonderful world. If you knew a couple where the husband had a really bad temper and he was 30 years older than the wife, and the wife was a lot smaller and Asian, I'll just say it, I like to be blunt, and he was white and he was famous and rich. If you knew these people, if he wasn't just a movie star, because people don't think of movie stars as real people, and they're real people. They have real people problems, just like you and me. So if you knew these people and then you found out that the wife had passed away and that the husband continued to live in the house for like a week with his illness, not being well, having Alzheimer's, wandering around, not really able to feed himself or take his medication or much of anything, and that he may have accidentally passed away a week later from dehydration and starvation and such, what are you going to think? That she just like dropped dead from rat turds? Because I know that hantavirus is a real thing, but I'm not buying it. And, the first footage that I saw of the Gene Hackman body cam footage was on Down the Rabbit Hole. And I love that channel. I love that content creator. And the part that I saw was only in the area where Betsy Awakawa, is that how you say her last name? Where Betsy Hackman was found in the bathroom by the vanity. And it's a cluttered area. There's a lot of like piles of clothes and stuff like that. It's not like filthy. There's a difference between messy and filthy. So just because it's not perfect, like the rest of the house was perfect. If you went into the living room and the dining room and the kitchen and the hallways, and everything was freaking perfect. I mean, they definitely had help. Anybody with that type of money has people that come do the upkeep and do the maintenance, not just to keep things working, but to keep things clean. It's just a lot. There's a lot more dusting involved when you've got a large space like that. And it's a very large space with very high ceilings. And Betsy was an artist. I saw one room that appeared to be her art studio. It looked like she was framing things and creating original art too. And that takes a lot of time and effort and focus. And then she was taking care of her sick husband, who was 95, and she was somewhere around 65. So there's a very good possibility that he was afraid that she was going to put him into a home, or that they were having discussions about having assistance with his care other than just her. I'm sure it was crushing, especially if she's trying to be creative at the same time. And at 65, I would imagine that she didn't want to lose her inspiration. I call it suffering inspiration. Because for me, that's what it is. It's suffering inspiration. Like when I want to make a lot of jewelry or make a lot of videos, or, any kind of artistic, what people call, just being inspired. I call it suffering inspiration, because you don't eat, you don't drink, you don't stop to go to the restroom, you don't sleep, you don't talk to friends, you just keep at it until you can't see straight, literally, because you get so into it. You have to step back. Like when I did do the jewelry designing for a living full time, I was really good about taking breaks routinely. But let me keep up with you guys and try to stay on track. Hey, Jazz, Fred, Mrs. Amir, and everyone. Hello, Annabise, my dear. So I still suspect that there's a lot more to the story. They were deceased for a week or two. There's just no way. I mean, the evidence doesn't preserve itself. So whatever happened 2 weeks prior to the discovery of their remains, the evidence is aged. It's deteriorated. It's broken down. It's decompensated. It's disintegrated. It's gone. And then you had the deceased dog, and then you had the adorable German Shepherd that was guarding her, and it was so cute. And it wasn't even fierce towards the law enforcement when they came in. It was probably so sad and devastated because it probably knew that its friend dog was deceased in the crate right next to it. The whole story is just awful. It's absolutely awful. So I don't want to be saying anything derogatory. I want to be trying to enlighten myself to find the truth. And to me, the only way the story makes sense is if she passed away, not by accident and not by hantavirus either. I think that that's confabulation. I don't believe that. And I feel like right now we can't trust anything in the news. I was just watching stuff this morning and today, right before I came on, about, the most recent court stuff with the Trump administration and the guy who needs to come back from the El Salvador prison. And it just seems so scripted. Even the channels that aren't necessarily, like Fox News, which obviously is scripted, all of it just seemed like a crock. It just seemed like rehearsed. It seemed like acting. And I think that it is. In some sense, it's always been. But anyway, I put photographs on the thumbnail that I really want to talk about, which is why I put them there so I wouldn't forget. Did you ever look at the SS picture? What did you think? Fred, I did, and I appreciate you asking, so I can thank you for that. I'm gonna throw up now. I hate her so much. Scammy Smith, disgusting. And yeah, she looks in her 30s. You're absolutely on point with that. It's her profile picture from her Instagram account for anybody who's interested. And maybe I'll take a screenshot of it and put it in the community post or use it for a thumbnail or something like that. I don't like to show her face, but at the same time, I think it's good to put it out there so that she's not forgotten about and she's not hiding. Yeah, I thought that photo was horrific. And it's only been 2 years. She's only 20 and she looks way older than 30, in my opinion. And yeah, stress will do that to you. If you hide a body, yeah, your hair could just fall out or turn white overnight. I mean, literally, those things happen to people, you guys. Criminals are so stupid, they don't realize what they're doing to themselves as well as everybody else. So, just to summarize on the Gene Hackman, and I apologize if I offend anybody with this, and if you have information to contradict it, please do share, or your opinion contradicts it, please do share. I believe that it's very likely that he could have been responsible for his wife's passing away, and then intentionally, and then been responsible for his own passing away unintentionally. That's my opinion. That the dog passing away was probably also his fault unintentionally. But the dogs really tell a story. You got the dog that was guarding, you got the dog that was in the crate, and then there was another dog that was wandering around. So I don't think the truth is going to come out on this, because the residual money making that the entertainment companies get, the production companies, from all of his body of work is just too massive for them to allow their main man to look bad. And people don't like wife beaters. I'll just say it. I don't know that he was a wife beater, but I have a feeling that things got really bad at the end. Thus, the end. If it didn't get bad, they'd both probably still be living. He'd probably be in an Alzheimer's home. She'd probably have the glorious mansion to herself. She'd have her art spread out everywhere, maybe a couple more dogs. Who knows? But anyway, it really, I get this pain in my stomach, and this mind-body connection has always steered me in the right direction my whole life. So I think I'm right. I don't want to be right. I'd love to be completely in left field in some cases. And this is one of those cases where I hope I am dead wrong, no pun intended. And I'm just thinking, man, this one light is way too bright, just totally washing me out there. I just put a little cloth over it to make it a little less severe. Okay, no more obsessing about nothing. Let's talk about the people in the thumbnail. So there's about 6 photographs in that thumbnail. Most of the people in the thumbnail are people that were deceased in the airplane crash. You've got the family of 4. It's actually a family of 5. One of them was not on the airplane, and that is horrific. Her name, she's a kid, but I think she's 18. Her name's Annika, which is adorable. So the little sister, Annika, who is graduating high school right now and accepted into a couple of colleges, and her whole family just passed away in that plane crash. So she had an older brother who went to Swarthmore College in Pennsylvania, which is one of the schools that she was accepted to. And her father was also a graduate of Swarthmore College. And then, so her brother and her dad, and then her older sister and her mom. So her older sister was headed to law school at Harvard. Is that right? Or medical school? No. I knew I'd cross my wires. There's too many people. Her older sister looks exactly like her brother's girlfriend. So the other 2 people that were on the plane were her older sister's boyfriend, and I'll try to give you names so it's not as confusing as me is. And then the brother's girlfriend. And the family also happened to be Jewish, and this happened on Passover. So their last name is Groff, Groff. And let's see. Am I right about that? This is so confusing. Yeah, Annika Groff is the surviving sister. Sorry. I've got a lot of notes squeezed into here. So the older sister was the one who was the NCAA Woman of the Year at MIT in 2022, and she played soccer there. Her boyfriend played lacrosse. Where's her boyfriend's name so I can try to keep things a little bit less confused? James Santoro is her boyfriend. So they met at MIT. He played lacrosse for MIT. He was the star player. She was the star soccer player. But Woman of the Year nationally, that's huge. MIT, like that school is like top shelf. It's way up there with Harvard and probably Swarthmore. Swarthmore's not one I'm real familiar with, but I've heard of it. I'm pretty sure it's way up there with like Dartmouth and Brown and Smith and Stanford and Yale and Princeton and Columbia, NYU. So Karina Groff, the one who was awarded the MIT play or Woman of the Year at MIT in 2022, she won awards, not just that award, but one of the reasons why she won that award was because she had come up with some type of COVID mask when she was in school at MIT, which was what prompted them to elect her for that Woman of the Year, National Woman of the Year award. So Karina Groff is the girlfriend of James Santoro. They were both on the airplane. So the brother's name is Jared Groff. His girlfriend, Alexia Coyotes Duartem, gorgeous, looks a lot like his sister. Also super successful. She was the one who's Harvard bound. She was about to start law school at Harvard this fall, I believe. I'm going to be doing more research on all of them because you guys, I'm just going to get straight to the bottom line. I don't think it was an accident. These 6 people, these winningest 6 people. So the mom and the dad were both surgeons. Not only were they a Jewish family, the mother is from India. So Dr. Joy Sani, I think, Saini, Dr. Joy Sani. So I'll put a link in the description to some of the information about her. There's a lot online. So that's Annika's mother. And then I didn't write down the father's name. He was the one who was driving the plane. And so the plane crashed, they said, because weather conditions were deteriorating. And the air traffic controllers, I think, had instructed the pilot that they were flying too low 3 times. 3 times. So my mind immediately goes to, well, why would they be doing that? Why would they be continuing to fly low? Unless they were sabotaged, unless their airplane was sabotaged, unless maybe their gauges were scrambled. I don't know. I can't believe for a second that this plane of 6 of the most winningest human specimens on our planet, that it just happened to have them on it. So those are the people in the photographs. The girl in the long white dress is actually Annika, the survivor. And then there's a picture of Jared with his girlfriend Alexis. That's the picture of the couple. And then there's, I think, a picture of Annika with her big sister Karina. And then there's a picture of Karina. So I didn't put any pictures of the mom and dad, just the kids, the surviving child and the two that didn't survive. And I don't think I got a photograph of James Santoro in there yet, but maybe I'll switch up the photographs. I also put a picture of the big fat pig that I call Trumpster Fire, because I think he hates everybody. I think he's jealous of everybody. And I think he is vile. And I think that he is completely destroying our country and everybody in it. And that we all have to do something right now. We cannot wait another second. So the courts are on him, but they are going to give him 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, they could have the whole freaking Project 2025 well underway. Lock, stock, and barrel is my fear. And we don't even know that man at the El Salvador prison that's not supposed to be there, do we even know that he's still living? Do we even know that they know where he is? No, I don't think we know any of that, which might be part of why they're pretending that they can't get him back. Maybe they're not pretending. Maybe they can't get him back. I mean, look what happened when the United States finally got Otto Warmbier returned from the North Korean prison. You know, he was from the Cincinnati area. So I watched that case closely. I would have watched it closely anyway, because it was so horrifying. And it's the one thing that I am very upset with Obama about, because I think that he basically lied to Otto Warmbier, I think is how you say it, as if it's a warm beer. Otto Warmbier's family, you know, he told them not to worry, everything would be fine, he'd get their kid back, and that didn't happen. I mean, actually, he got their kid back, he just wasn't, he had no brain activity when he came back. So they should have been more panicked. They shouldn't have trusted him, but what choice did they really have? When you're dealing with North Korea, you're dealing with North Korea, which is basically who we have for El Presidente at the moment, is somebody just like that. Somebody who thinks that Vladdy is his home fry, who he admires and loves and worships and wants to be like, aspires to be, and just wants his approval. I mean, he wants everybody's approval, but I think more than anyone, he wants Vladdy's approval. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But my point is that I said it yesterday and I've said it before, but I think it needs to be repeated more directly again and again. I think destroying our economy and our country was 1,000% intentional. I don't think it was an accident. I don't think it was like, oops, the fumbling of the football trophy with JD. What was a good nickname for him? Vice President Butterfingers. Oh, I think I wrote it down. Oh, and I think I just heard some thunder. Yeah, I did hear some thunder. I love it. I did write it down, but I don't know if it's in this one. The Vice President Butterfingers, whatever it was hilarious. And you guys, I'm going to die. I don't think I have my phone nearby. This is going to be a true test of my keeping my cool under crisis. I had it, and then there was just too much running around and last minute stuff, and I was all discombobulated, and I left it somewhere. Oh no. Where? It's probably just on the floor or something. Where is it? Oh well, it'll be my opportunity to challenge myself to do a live without my freaking phone. I give up. I'm just going to have to log off. Bye. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I'm not in chat. I'm at the doctor's right now. Oh, you're sweet, Annabees. No problem. Thank you for being here. It's so awful. I can't believe any of this is happening. Yeah, I mean, what's so profoundly important about the man, I don't remember his full name, Garcia, the Maryland man who is in the El Salvador prison. If the situation doesn't get resolved appropriately, it sets a precedence that that can be done with anybody. And we all heard the hot mic of El Presidente saying homegrowns will be next, basically. We need more prisons. I mean, one of those prisons holds 30,000 people, and I think Trump said that he was wanting about 5 more. So 150,000 more people. Why not just make the whole country a locked prison? Excuse me. That's what I was expecting. I thought he was going to put like a giant gold dome over the entire United States, a lot like the dome in the Simpsons movie. Yes, that is so insane. Yeah, it is. And I might sound crazy, but I don't think it's me. I think it's me talking about the crazy. And then I honestly think that's a lot of the reason why I don't talk about it much. And I think why a lot of people don't talk about it much, because it makes you sound crazy and it makes you feel crazy and it makes you nauseous and it makes you want to throw up and it makes you lose your phone. So it's not very funny at all. But what the F did I do with my phone? Because I had it. I set it down. Running around from here to there and everywhere. Let me see if somebody can find it. Hey, hon. Okay, you guys, I did a quick search. I did not find it, but I'm putting a request to have family members call my phone, so maybe it'll show up. Ridiculous. I know that it's got to be like right here, right under my nose. Isn't that where it always is? Okay. What was I talking about? Something crazy. Oh, yeah, me. He needs to be impeached. He needs to be impeached. Like, he's really not a legitimate president. They stole the election, just like he faked his freaking assassination attempt. Straight up. Faked the assassination attempt. Faked winning the election. He should go straight to jail. Because he knew that if he didn't win the presidency, that he would go straight to jail for the 34 felonies that he's been convicted of, not just charged with, convicted, 34 counts. Him and Elon both knew their only hope of guaranteeing to stay out of prison was to steal the freaking presidency. And what do you think the punishments should be for turning a democracy into crap, into a fascist pile of bullcrap? I don't know what the punishments should be. But I guess I'll give up on the phone. Hold on. One last shot. I know I keep saying that. Yeah, I really do just need to go all Amish and forget all about it. Just get rid of it. I used to love losing it because I just didn't want to be so attached to it, and I am. very attached to it, obviously. So, yeah, this is going to be like the most schizophrenic live. I'm going to have to delete it. Let me just calm down for a second. Stupid phone. I shouldn't be so dependent on it. I know. But I had it. I was doing stuff with it right before I came on live. But then I was like doing this and doing that and letting the dogs out and getting the cat water. Okay. So, Alexis Duarte, the girlfriend of Jared Groff on the airplane, the one headed towards Harvard Law School. And so I think that they might have met as students at Swarthmore. Might have. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, she won an award already in her young years. And she was an intake specialist at a law firm for, are you ready? Immigration law. And this is the best part. Finally, here I am, 41 minutes. Where the plane crashed? I put it in the title so I wouldn't forget. The plane crashed in that little town that we've never heard of. It's by the Catskills Mountains. Did I not write down the name of the little town? I thought I did. It's literally on the border, you guys. On the border of New York and Massachusetts. So they said that the plane crashed in New York. They didn't say it crashed close to the border. Why would they not say that it crashed in New York close to the Massachusetts state line? Why would they leave that out? You know how strongly Massachusetts is a Democratic run state. It's also the state where the Kennedys have the deepest roots. So I don't think that Massachusetts would necessarily be wanting to do the Republican leader the favors that he might be able to get Mayor Adams to help with in New York City. He might be able to get other folks that he knew from when he lived in New York for most of his entire life, because he's a New Yorker and his dad's a New Yorker. So he goes way back. He's got connections everywhere in New York. So of course the plane landed on the New York side of the border. In my humble conspiracy theory opinion, allegedly, it's a possibility. Sure, maybe the plane just happened to go down because things were not going well with the flying and these amazing people passed away. Maybe it's all just a pile of coincidences, right? This Alexis Duarte, I think her middle name is Coyotas, Alexis Coyotas Duarte. Beautiful girl, super smart, specialty in immigration law, about to go to Harvard. And then the sister, Karina, was working on her neuroscience degree, I think, to be a physician at NYU. Guess who else goes to NYU? Yeah, you guessed it. Trumpster Fire Jr., the one who's 6'9", the 19-year-old, Melania's son, he goes to NYU. And I thought of another reason why El Presidente hates Harvard so much, just like he hates Columbia so much. Barack Obama graduated from Harvard. Everybody graduated from Harvard. I mean, it's a great school. I wish I graduated from there, but I never applied there. I didn't think I'd get in. I could have. I mean, the one school that I applied to when I was in high school was Miami University. It was the only school I wanted to go to. I didn't have any backup plan because I was sure that I would get in. I did not realize what a hard school it was to get in, but fortunately I did get in. So I was lucky. because I literally filled out my application with a purple felt tip pen on my pillow while I was in bed. So it's a miracle I got in, right? I'm going to get up one more time. No phone, you guys? That's insane. It might be like on the couch, under the blankets or something. Okay, I should have just stayed under the blankets myself and called it a day. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. He needs to be impeached. He needs to be arrested. And I think he knows that. And I think that's why he's in this like death throes thing that I was talking about, that he's just going to keep fighting till the bitter end. As am I, right? I'm not going to give up on finding that phone. It's got to be on the floor. That's where I usually find it. Anyway. Okay, let's move on. Ivana's deceased exes, you guys. I told you yesterday that I discovered another one. Dr. Harold Borenstein, whose father was also the doctor for the Trumpster Fire family, the one who passed away from unknown causes in an unknown location 2 days after the insurrection, the one who wrote the first clean bill of health for Trumpster Fire that he later said Donnie dictated to him. And he wrote that in about 2015. And then his office was raided in about 2018. And then he passed away tragically 2 days after the insurrection, January 8th of 2021. So there was a space of time between these things, but I do think that that's all connected. And when they raided his office, it was a bodyguard, an FBI agent, and a lawyer for Trumpster Fire. When they raided his office and took his medical files, I mean, that's breaking laws, but they also broke HIPAA laws by going into that space and putting their hands on things. But he has 5 surviving children and a wife. And his father, Jacob Borenstein, who was Trumpster Fire's doctor until about 1980 or sometime in the 80s. And then Borenstein, I wanted to correct myself that he'd actually been their doctor, their family physician for over 30 years. I said 18 years. I don't know where I got that. I don't know if maybe the father was only their physician for 18 years before he retired and handed it over to his son. But Harold Borenstein was the family physician for over 30 years. So he knew a lot. He had a lot of information. But he also just happened to go to Tufts University, which is the same university that woman was abducted from the streets. She was a graduate student at Tufts, the one who had like the 5 ICE agents with the hoods over their faces and the unmarked vans, and they were unmarked themselves. So what a coincidence. You know, he is not shy about his vengeance, and that his goal with getting into the office of the presidency was that he could get revenge. That was his goal. He stated it clearly. Oh, I think I might know right where it is. Is it here? Let me just fall all over my studio and my dog and everything else. No, I thought I had it. I thought I did. That's ridiculous. Okay. That was my last opportunity. Now I have no more chances. Yeah, Coco, you all right, baby? Okay, so let's get on with the show. There's a lot more information here that is extremely important. So, the gaslighting is surreal. The irony of how little T wants to put everybody where he belongs in prison, but he wants to put all of us in prison. Okay. And then his wrath towards this Groff family, if their plane going down was connected to him, if could be explained by a lot of jealousy over the children, the couple's children, and their success. Same thing with Kaitlyn Collins. She was also award winning. Same age as Trumpster Fire's child that he had with Marla Maples. Same age, like around 32. So I looked into some more of the history with Ivana's ex-husbands. I told you guys that I had found the Count Rofredo Gaetan de Lorenzara deli Acal de Aranjona Lovatelli. No joke. That's his name. That's the Count's name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At least 6 titles in his names. It is. It's plural names. That's his names. So we'll just call him the Count. So not only is he from aristocracy, for real, there are 2 popes in his freaking family. So when he crashed his car on December 23rd of 2005 in Italy, when he was visiting his family for the holidays, he was visiting them at the family castle, and he drove himself over a cliff, 52 years old, despite the fact that he was a star athlete and knew cars really well, because I don't know if he advertised for Ferrari or if he just identified with Ferrari, but he had tight ties to the Ferrari car company. And so Alfred Winkelmeyer was Ivana's first husband, the friend that she married in 71. They were only married for a couple of years. They said it was a platonic relationship that was never consummated. And they skied together. Like, he was either her coach or they were instructors together or something. And he's the only ex-husband who might be alive. But you try to find information on any of these 4 exes, good luck. You have to know exactly what you're looking for, and you still won't find anything. It'll send you right over to Ivana's wiki page where they might be mentioned. None of them have their own pages. So Alfred Winkelmeyer, there's a couple places online where it says he's not alive anymore. One place says that he passed away in 1976, which was, I want to say, right before she married Trump. I was going to grab my phone to look up what year they got married, but that's okay. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it was that one site that could be incorrect. A lot of artificial intelligence is incorrect. A lot of what we see on the internet is not accurate. So we always want to keep that in mind. So when I first did all this research, I was under the impression that they had all passed away. And then I was like, wait, no, the first one, Alfred, might be still living. If he were alive, he'd be 79 years old right now, roughly. But I literally found a site that said maybe he passed away. Maybe he passed away. I've never seen that in print about somebody's historical information. There was another boyfriend of Ivana's that passed away in a motor vehicle accident in 1973. And that was a boyfriend named, I think the last name is spelled Staidi. I think it's John Stady. Anyway, passed away in a motor vehicle accident in 1973. So that was a boyfriend from prior to her marriage to Alfred. And then after she divorced from Trump, she married Riccardo Masuccelli. And they were only married for 20 months. He was 74 years old when he passed away in 2017. They were only married for 20 months in 95 to 97. And he's the one that she sued for $20 million for breach of confidentiality contract, like an NDA. But you can't find, or I can't find, I'll correct myself, I can't find, if you can find it, please share what his cause of death was or where it happened. That's nowhere to be found. At least with Harold Bornstein, it says undisclosed causes and undisclosed location. With Ricardo, it doesn't say either of those things, just that he passed away. You know, and he's 74 years old, so you could go, oh, natural causes. But if somebody's healthy and wealthy, 74 years old is fairly young, honestly. And so then you had the Count, who passed away at 52 in the car crash. And then you had Rossano Rubicondo, the one that she was married to for less than 2 years also in 08, 09. The one that she did the Dancing with the Stars, competing for the Italy version of Dancing with the Stars in 2018. And then he passed away from cancer, heart failure, and aneurysm, maybe. All three of these things. If it wasn't those things specifically, I know the cancer for sure, something with his heart for sure, and then the other thing, I'm pretty sure it was aneurysm, embolism, something like that. That was 2021 fall, maybe early winter 2021, about 9 months before she passed away. And again, she was 73 years old. And it was printed in the newspapers the very next day that there was nothing suspicious and that it was an accident. How do you know it was an accident? How thorough can you be in an investigation that quickly? The first 48 hours after something happens is the most important part of the investigation, but you can still get information 20 years into the investigation. And this was published within 48 hours. And it was definitive. There was nothing suspicious. It was an accident. But if she had a heart attack at the top of the stairs and that caused her, if the heart attack caused her to lose her life, then that wouldn't be an accident, would it? It would be cause of death would be heart attack, and then you would have the falling down the stairs in addition to. So kind of like a comorbidity kind of thing. Heart failure and gravity failure. They all think they are above the law. Absolutely. And so far they are. That's the problem. Can I put a link in your comments later? It's something I want you to watch. Oh, you can put it in now, Anna Bees. Absolutely. Thank you for asking. Yes, please. I'm always interested in your input for sure. So I just hit an hour. I don't have my cell phone. I don't know how I'm going to continue with this live. I need to clean it up and redo it because there's a lot of crazy information. If I can streamline it, it might sound less crazy, but I don't think so. I think it's the nature of the beast. I think it was just kind of cosmic kismet that it was supposed to be super extra crazy in my delivery. So then, people can just go, oh, that Justice A to Z. She's always like that. She thinks everything is a conspiracy and everybody is doing bad things and nothing is just a coincidence and everything is just a coincidence. She's so silly. So, yeah, I know. I can't do it now. I'm driving, LOL. Oh, yeah, definitely don't do it now. But I was going to wrap up. So I don't know if you feel like pulling over, if you're able to pull over safely, or if you want to just try it in the next live, which hopefully will be tomorrow. It's Thursday tomorrow. And I should find my phone and unwind. And who knows, maybe the nightmare will be over by then. I mean, I don't hold my breath and I try not to get my hopes up, but I do think it's realistic that, right now, the judge who made the order to bring the Maryland man back, who the president was in direct defiance of and really mocking when he had his little meeting with the El Salvadorian president. And they were like, how can I smuggle in the criminal? I don't know how to do that. I'm just a president. I'm just sitting here with this other president. We don't know how to do anything like that. We're not God. We just think we are. Anyway, yeah. That judge, I don't know his name, but he is pissed. And he, I think, is filing papers. I think I saw this right before I came on. He's basically getting his ducks in a row for contempt of court already. That the contempt of court has already happened, which it clearly has. But then there's this other judge, the female judge, who made the order last night. They had their meeting at like 4 p.m. And the order was to facilitate his return with a deadline of 2 weeks. Like I said, by then they'll have the whole freaking Project 2025 implemented and we'll be past the point of no return. I hope I'm wrong. But that's too long. I mean, that actually is like exactly 100 days into the presidency, isn't it? Because we're about 90 days in right now, I think. Again, I'd need my freaking calendar on my phone. We're probably like 89 days in, something like that. Maybe 87 days in. Yeah, so 2 weeks would be 100 days exactly. And that's exactly their plan for implementing Project 2025 is in the first 100 days. So that is almost like it was intentional. Well, we'll just make the deadline for after you have your Project 2025 completely underway and you're shipping everybody over there to El Salvador and throwing away the key without due process. Yeah. So thank goodness for Bernie Sanders and AOC, who are just shredding I reported yesterday that they had done their Stop Oligarchy tour in Idaho. And then yesterday they did it somewhere in California again. I want to say Riverside or something, but I think that the one last night might have been their largest yet. And I think that the largest one prior to that was it Vegas with 35,000, or was it somewhere in California with 35,000? Either way, the Fight Oligarchy tour is amazing. It started in Oklahoma or Omaha, Nebraska, or Oklahoma. I think it was Omaha, Nebraska, actually. And then it went, and it was just Bernie by himself a few weeks ago. And then he went to Iowa. I think it was Falls City, Iowa. So he did that the first weekend. And then he's been hitting the pavement pretty much consistently most weekends since. And it's phenomenal. And they're getting so much support from Republicans. This whole thing is way past party lines, way past. So the people in this current president's administration are complete fools. He has made a mockery of all of them. They have all said and done the stupidest things, and they are going to give themselves heart attacks. They're going to give themselves nervous breakdowns. They're going to give themselves depression and anxiety. And they're doing that for the rest of the world too. So I don't really have any empathy for any of them. They can all step off. But they don't realize how stupid they are, that he's not going to protect them. They'll be the first ones he throws under the bus to protect himself. Each one of them will be the one to take the fall for everything that he's done wrong and illegal. Oh, anyway, just my humble conspiracy theory opinion, allegedly, right? I'm going to wrap it up. Let's find that dumb phone. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. If you want to say anything before I wrap up, please feel free. I'll just keep scanning the room for my phone. But man, don't you love watching the Big E and the way he like scans the room when he's high as a kite, like during the inauguration, or he was doing a tour through his one of his factories in the last couple of days. I'll put a couple of links into the description of what I'm talking about. And he's just like, it's like, dude, you're so high. Come on. It's so sad. And then there's this thing about that he has a lot more kids than the 14, that all of the people that he impregnates, he has signed non-disclosure agreements. So it's a lot more. I'll put a link in the description to a video about that too. I mean, that's what I had suspected already. I just hadn't seen any information about any of it coming out. And then this whole thing with the whistleblowers. So they've put one of the Hegseth's main man on an administrative leave. He's under investigation for being a leaker. It's like, if your government is so transparent, you wouldn't have any leakage. It wouldn't be possible to have leakage. And government by law is transparent. It's supposed to be. I mean, of course, there's some things that they're not supposed to be transparent about, like with their freaking attack plans. They're not supposed to be transparent with their war plans. Yeah, that's something, high security, obviously. Oh, there it is. Maybe I'll just go ahead and try it. If it'll work. I don't know that it will with my touch screen and my cursor is still not working. No, it's not working. Dang it. Let me write it down just in case I have trouble finding the pulled over for a second. You're so kind. So let's see. youtube.com/post. Let's see. And then /UGK XZ1K. Oh, and that might not even be the whole thing because then it says ... Let's see. XZ1KYJ Vlad. XZ1K YJ Vlad. So it must be something about our buddy Vladdy, right? I'll see if I can find that. Yeah, that's annoying that I can't just tap on it. You would think. Oh, wait, maybe I can. Go to channel. There. Okay, it's working. Okay, Anna Bees, it takes me to your page, and I was going to say I'm probably one of your 2 subscribers, but if I'm not, I am now. This is what I have been talking about. There's way more about this guy. Just watch and see the truth. The secretive billionaire who will rule America. Yes. Thank you so much. So you've got these 2 videos from the last 3 days, and then you've got something from 4 days ago. I know, Martha. Yeah. With all the insider trading, and then 5 days. Yeah, it looks like you've been posting a lot of good stuff the last couple of weeks. I'll have to watch all this. Okay, you guys, go to Anna B's page. She's only got a couple of subscribers, and maybe you want to subscribe, and maybe you want to watch these things. And I'll see if I can go back to the live. There I am. 14 billion. Wow. We'll look after the live. Thanks for sharing, Anna Bees. And if it's okay with you, Anna Bees, I will put those links in the description too, so that it's easy for people to find them either in the live chat or in the description. So way cool. You're awesome. Thanks for anchoring my silly show today. I'm just proud of myself for coming on when I was feeling so punky. But like I said, I think it was just sick of all the BS and sick of all the gaslighting. Sick of all the lies. So yeah, love and light. You guys have a great afternoon, and I will look forward to seeing you again soon. Hopefully my cursor will work. Hopefully I will have my phone as well. Love and light. Have a great day. Eat your veggies. And don't forget to stay hydrated.